I'm a scientist, and have you ever wondered how scientifically accurate your favorite sci-fi and fantasy movies are? Let's rank them. I have Quantum Genius all the way to just pure fantasy. Quantum Genius is basically these films get science surprisingly right. Again, doesn't have to be exactly perfect. The lab coat approved, your A tier, S tier Quantum. A tier is lab coat approved. Very plausible with a few Hollywood liberties. You have the sci-fi-ish, which is fun ideas but still scientifically stretched. Then you have the mad scientist, which is basically there are mostly creative speculation with some nod to science. And then the fantasy is just pure imagination. There's amazing stories, but there's basically zero science. So with that, this is a pre-existing tier list. So I'll just kind of go from there. And some of them are actually sequels, so I'll probably end up kind of clumping them together. But let's start with Blade Runner 2049. I am going to put this under lab coat approved. Beautiful film itself. AI and the societal trends are very thought-provoking, though things like flying cars are fantasy. You know what? I'm just going to cheat here, and I'm just going to throw Blade Runner kind of with it, because it's same universe. Next up, Arrival. Awesome. The linguistics, non-linear perception of time, cognitive science explored, but in a credible way. I think this deserves a Quantum Genius spot. Excellent film. The Minority Report has that predictive algorithms, gesture controls aren't possible, but personalized advertising is already real. So for that, I'm going to put you up in lab coat approved. This tier list is already pretty top heavy. Well, that's okay, because now we have Star Wars, which, though I love Star Wars, it's basically pure fantasy. Lightsaber space battles, the Force itself breaks physics, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Fine, I'll put the other Star Wars here too, just to get that. Looper, really like Looper. The whole time travel aspect, does it really focus on the science that much? It kind of does, but kind of doesn't. I don't really think of it too much as a sciencey movie, though. I think it is kind of... You know what? I'm going to put Looper under... I'll put it under sci-fi-ish. I don't know if the time travel physics is actually very accurate, but you know what? I think that's fine. It's my list, so I can't miss. Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, going down there. Even more fantasy than even Star Wars is. Tenet. You know what? Tenet, actually, I'm going to put under sci-fi-ish too. It's the inverted entropy is pretty imaginative. Physics is fictionalized, but it's still pretty cool. There was one Chris Nolan movie, but now the second one, Interstellar, I think definitely goes up here. Kip Thorne ensured black holes, time dilation, and relative visuals were scientifically solid. Kip Thorne, Cold Fusion, that's his YouTube channel. Excellent channel. I recommend checking that out. And you can tag him in this if you like to. Okay. Lord of the Rings. Again, I'm just gonna... sure, I'll just put it there. Mad Max Fury Road. Actually just saw Furiosa for the first time. I'm gonna put you under Mad Scientist. Obviously, there's still a lot of liberties, and the whole Mad Max series is kind of told as a mythological storytelling, but it is post-apocalyptic, which feels like it's getting closer and closer every time. There's a lot of engineering stuff that's kind of imaginative, so I'll leave it at that. I don't really feel like it's a sci-fi movie anyways. It's kind of sci-fi light. Jurassic Park. I think I'm gonna put under lab coat approved. It's love Michael Crichton, love all of his books. Um, read Prey just last year. Genetics is mostly plausible. Obviously, cloning dinosaurs from DNA is still impossible. The obviously dinosaurs don't have feathers or anything like that too, and they kind of took some liberties there, but I think it at least made an attempt to be somewhat scientific, right? Hollywood definitely took some liberties, but at least it's something plausible. Edge of Tomorrow and time loop magic. It's at least it's internally consistent, though it's speculative. But sure, I'll put it there. I'll put it as the lab coat approved. Well, Martian's not on here, but I'd probably put Martian under lab coat approved too. The botany and engineering, and the survival science is mostly accurate. Death storms were exaggerated on Mars. Mars does get death storms, but not to that degree. But it's okay. It's a movie. So yeah, lab coat approved for that guy. Gravity is going to go up here. That was a pretty good movie. The orbital mechanics and the space hazards are mostly correct. Obviously, there's some of the maneuvers that the astronauts did weren't, but that's fine. I think that deserves that. Back to the Future. Try to be scientific. Flux capacitor is obviously nonsense, but creative physics, time travel humor. At least it tries to be scientific. I'll put it as lab coat approved. I'll put it back here just because the time travels thing is still speculative. Inception, love the movie. Sci-fi-ish. I'll put it above Looper. The dream manipulation is art, not science. At least they try to explain it like science, though. Aliens. Aliens is more of an action, sci-fi action, but I'll put you under sci-fi-ish. I'll put you behind Looper, though. Universe is big. I'm sure aliens exist. Obviously, there's still some liberties that were taken there. But yeah, because it's not really that focused, and you know what, Alien 2, I'm going to just put you here. I feel like it's more horror for Alien and more action for the second one, but it's cool. But yeah, sci-fi-ish is good. Ghostbusters, I'll put under fantasy. I'll put ahead of these ones, though, just because at least they try to explain it a little bit more, and at least it's a bit more realistic. So I'll just give it points for that. RoboCop. Probably Mad Max Fury Road is Mad Scientist. Sure, I'll put you under sci-fi-ish too. You know what, actually, I'll put you above Aliens. Terminator Series 2, at least you try to be more scientific. Time travel aspect. Love Terminator Judgment Day. It's probably one of my favorite sci-fi movies, and probably put in like a top 50 favorite movies ever. But yeah, I think that's good for it. E.T. Steven Spielberg. Very nice movie. You know what? The biology's kind of fictional, and yeah, I'll just put it there. Mad Scientist. I'll put it above. Terminator, you know what? I'll put you above Terminator 2 just because the T-1000 is a little bit more fictionalized than the the T-800. So I'll leave you at that. I think that's fair. Avatar. I'll put you at the bottom of sci-fi-ish because it's kind of similar with the aliens. ecosystem's very creative. Exoplanet conditions are partially realistic. James Cameron does a good job with those, but the biology's fictional. So I'll just leave it there. I think that's fine. Dune. I've heard people call this sleepy Star Wars. I love the Dune series and the books. You're kind of realistic, though. I know science isn't the big focus on it per se, and it does have its own kind of mythological aspect. You know what? Science isn't really that much of a focus. I'll just put it at the head of Mad Scientist. It feels like it's a bit more fantasy than sci-fi. I feel like the Predator... Mind you, Predator's not really... I'll put Predator actually at the bottom of Mad Scientist. It's more of an action-y movie. It's not that focused on science. So that's fine. Oh, Lord of the Rings, I missed Return to the King. Sure, I'll put you at the bottom there. Independence Day, I think... Sure, I'll put it here. Alien tech and space warfare, all Hollywood exaggeration, but it's kind of cool. Contact, excellent. I'll put actually up here. Depicts radio astronomy and SETI pretty accurately. Alien communication speculative, but so is it. Same thing with Arrival, but that's okay. At least it's grounded in math and linguistics and stuff. So yeah, I think Contact is fine at the top there. 2001 Space Odyssey, I'll actually put above Interstellar. Interstellar did a great job with Gargantua and depicting the black holes, and it deserves props for that. 2001 Space Odyssey from, I think, 1965, still one of the best sci-fi movies ever. Realistic orbital physics, AI concepts like AL 9000's logic is eerily plausible, and this is from 1965. It's pretty cool. It's like when you read Isaac Asimov and he's like talking about things like in the 30s that we're talking about now. Yeah, I think that's the deserving spot. Matrix, I'll just put the beginning at the top of Mad Scientist. Yeah, Neuromancer is also a cool book that, but yeah, Matrix is more philosophical, but physics defying. I guess it can kind of exist, but again, it's not really that focused on science. So yeah, there's my list. Do I want to change anybody? I think that's probably fine. All right, let me know your thoughts below if there's anybody that you think should be changed or added. And yeah, comment your thoughts, give me your rankings, and let me know what other tier lists you're thinking you'd like me to do. I'm thinking about doing like scientist ranks, like Spider-Man villains, on how good of a scientist they would be in real life, or just doing like ranking like MCU movies or something like that, or like conspiracy theories or cryptids or something. I'm still kind of toying around with these other ideas, but anyways, thank you, and please subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Ciao.